Hello everyone. Today we are having Perlin here and she has secured rank 3 in Punjab PCS examination. So today we will share her journey towards this examination. We will get to know her academic qualification, her parenting, her educational background and how she has cleared the examination, what her strategy was और कैसे वो अपने टाइम एंड इमोशन मैनेजमेंट पे उन्होंने काम किया है. तो इन सारे पहलुओं पे we will have brief words with her. Please, Perlin, please go ahead. Please introduce yourself here.
Good evening, sir, and hello to everyone who are watching us on this platform. Thank you for the introduction, sir. I'd like to give a brief introduction about myself again. I secured rank 3 in the Punjab Civil Services examination in 2019, and then I joined as Extra Assistant Commissioner in Ludhiana in 2020. So this is my first job. So I have very limited experience as far as that is considered. Currently, we are training at the Mahatma Gandhi State Institute of Public Administration in Chandigarh. So brief about my background. I belong to Patiala and I have studied in Yadvindra Public School, Patiala throughout. And then I shifted to Chandigarh for my graduation. I did BA with Geography Honours from DAV College, Chandigarh. Then I did my master's in geography from Punjab University, and I also cleared my UGC NET JRF exam. But I always had the, more leaning towards civil services, so I didn't pursue that. And about my family, I live in a joint family. We are we are village based. My village is near Samana in Patiala district, and but my parents shifted to Patiala for our education, and my father is into agriculture and my mother is a homemaker. So that is a brief about myself.
All right, Palin, as we could see कि आपका academic records बहुत अच्छा रहा throughout your schooling and college days. You were a art student और आपने जब civil services को pursue करना चाहा, तो who were the supporting pillar for you? क्या आपके पेरेंट्स जैसे जनरली इतने ब्राइट स्टूडेंट जो 10th में बहुत अच्छे मार्क्स लेते हैं, 12th में लेते हैं, तो जनरली पेरेंट्स परस्यू करते हैं गो फॉर द मेडिकल और नॉन मेडिकल, गो फॉर द इंजीनियरिंग और डॉक्टर एज अ करियर. तो ये जो आपका एक बहुत समय से आपने डिसीजन ले लिया था या आपकी फैमिली ने ये डिसीजन लिया था शायद, तो प्लीज इसके बारे में कुछ बताइए.
Right, sir. So the idea of civil services came into my life at a very young age. Matlab, I had no idea what it is like to be an officer. Probably we would see officers like Kiran Bedi ma'am, and that was really inspirational. And I was always a good student academically, and my mother would always push me to study. She would push me more than my brother because she believed that girls need to have a solid footing. They need to be independent. And then you have asked a very important question that when you are a bright student, you're always pushed into the conventional streams of medical and non-medical. But I was quite sure about not going into those fields. Science was not one of my strong points, and thankfully my parents supported. They understood, they had faith in my dreams. It was my decision. And but then I chose commerce for 11th 12th to open little bit of my avenues. I scored well in that, but then with guidance of my uncle. Actually, my uncle himself sat for the exam in his time. He did not clear it, but he was major source of inspiration for me throughout. And then he was the one who suggested the idea that if I'm so keen about civil services, why not choose humanities? And I am talking about 2011, and I had secured 93% in my board exams. And to choose BA that time was like a sacrilege. People would look down upon me that you're doing BA. It meant that you're doing nothing, you're wasting your potential. But then I stuck to my guns. No, I will do it. Then I did my master's in geography, again keeping in mind that I will keep geography as my optional. And plus, geography is very helpful otherwise also, even if you do not keep it as your optional. So I have been very fortunate that I have had great support of my parents. And plus, with people who think that parents always do not support them, I think you also need to have a strong stand. When you have a strong stand personally that you want to do a particular thing, I think parents back you. When you're yourself on a shaky ground, when you do not know what you want to do and you're dicey, then that is when parents push their dreams and aspirations that you should do this, you should do that. I'm not only talking about civil services. You might want to do anything, but you should be passionate about it. You should take a stand.
Then उसी के बाद जो है पेरेंट्स कहीं ना कहीं रीजनेबल बैकिंग आपको देंगे. एटलीस्ट यू शुड बी फर्म विद योर स्टैंड फर्स्ट.
Yeah, you should be firm. You should exude that confidence that parents feel कि
राइट
हाँ
राइट
ठीक है. If
राइट
the child is talking, तो she or he knows what she wants to do, and then they will always back you. It is the parents who will always back you. Society may say whatever, but parents will back you eventually. But you need to have the confidence in yourself.
राइट राइट. या पलिन प्लीज इसमें थोड़ा सा लाइट डालिए इस बात पे कि जनरली ऐसा एक धारणा रहती है, देयर इज अ प्रेजुडिस अगेंस्ट फॉर दिस, कि दिस इज द एग्जाम फॉर एलीट, और शायद जिनके पेरेंट्स ऑलरेडी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में हैं और दे गेट अ बेटर एज, और शायद वही क्लियर करते हैं. As we could see from your family, you are from a very modest and humble family. Father is a agriculturalist, mother is a homemaker, yet at least you have taken the decision at the right age और आप ये कर पाए. और आपने अब एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में शायद वे व्यक्ति भी देखे जो शायद कहीं ना कहीं मॉडेस्ट बैकग्राउंड से हैं, हम्बल बैकग्राउंड से हैं. तो प्लीज इस मिथ के ऊपर कुछ बोलिए.
Sir, actually, this is a very, I would say, challenging question also to answer the attributes of a civil servant. I think even if we sit with the board, they would also not be able to list the attributes. And as far as the concept of elitism is concerned, I would think about my personal experience that uh, see, I did not have anybody in the services, not even in my near dear relatives that I could have, some sort of support, or I could look up to somebody for guidance or something. So I charted my own path. But the thing was that my parents always focused on my education from day one. That was one thing. And then I have, throughout my journey, I've come across people, I have had friends who started quite late. So when I am saying that I chose early to do civil services, I am not saying that start preparing from school. No, you need to live your life. You need to attend your school life, your college, your university in a normal fashion. You can decide at any point in time that you want to clear civil services. And if you have that conviction, you will be able to do that. So when you're in the services, you see people from different backgrounds, from different educational streams, economic backgrounds, cultural backgrounds. So everybody is able to fit into this. Had it been, service of elites, you would see people from some particular top educational institutes making it into the services. We see people from government schools studying in vernacular mediums and then, writing in English and clearing these exams with top ranks. I think the two attributes that should stand out and that anyhow work are discipline or consistency, as we may call it, and a composed mind. So that has got nothing to do with your background or your educational qualification or your social, economic, religious background. These are two general attributes that I think would really help you in a good
Right.
way in a long run.
Right. That is the consistency and discipline, and that has to be backed up by the composer of your mind.
Right.
Right, right. All right, Pauline. Towards this examination, as we could see कि बहुत सारी पढ़ाई करते हैं, diverse subjects are there. तो these diverse subjects do add in your personal life when it comes to the application of the knowledge, और आपको क्या एक बेहतर इंसान बनने में भी मददगार होते हैं ये subjects. Or as we could see in science stream, particularly medical and non-medical subjects do not have their practical orientation when it comes to chemistry, physics and mathematics or biology. लेकिन these are the arts subject. तो आप इनको अपने जीवन में उतरता हुआ देखते हैं, या do you see them, these subjects are reflecting in your life as well?
So this is a very nice question that you have asked, and it is a question that is usually not asked in such interviews. And this was the primary reason that whenever I felt down or out of the race, this thought kept me going. So when you're studying, you have to do so much. And to be very honest, it is a torturous process. if I may say it. Everybody feels that, everybody has their ups and downs. But what kept me going was that in the end, even if I don't become an officer, even if I don't land that job, I will turn out to be a better, well informed citizen for sure. Because when I was comparing my peers, comparing myself with my peers on how much knowledge they have about what is going on in the world or what is going on in the country, I would see that I'm better placed. You know, this exam, this preparation gave me the confidence that I could, stand in any kind of social group, from the very rural, uninformed to the very informed, intelligent, and I could mix up, I could contribute. So
Right.
that is the thought that really kept me going, that even if you do not clear the exam, you're getting so much knowledge and it really helps in your personal life. I think I'll also deal with it in the later stage, how it helps in your personal and professional life as well.
As well.
So even if you choose to do any profession after this, I think knowledge, my mother would always say that knowledge is one thing that nobody can take away from you. It is the only thing that is totally your asset, that you will accumulate, and that will, help you in one form or the other. And knowledge always pays.
Mm.
We always associate that knowledge did not pay me with the result I expected, but knowledge will always pay you in life. You need to, have that faith in the processes that you are doing.
Okay, okay, okay. As we could, as you have mentioned, geography was your optional subject during this preparation. And how do you see geography is a valuable optional in application to your profession or your personal life?
Right. So I had picked up geography basically for the sole reason that I want to appear in the civil services. And I was suggested very wisely by one of my other uncles, who happens to be the head of geography department in DAV college, that geography covers actually a lot of dimensions of your exam. But apart from that, see, it is an interesting subject. And what all it contains, first is the academic relevance of geography. See, when you pick up a subject like geography, it overlaps with your general studies as well. It really helps you in so many aspects. And then it gives you a grip on other subjects. It also equips you with tools and techniques like maps and diagrams, which is the key. I think when I sat for my PCS mains, what set me apart was my tools and techniques that I learned in geography and cartography, that I could make use of with a lot of ease than probably other candidates
Best
who are
use of
not from
space, we could
geography
say.
background.
Best use of space in
Best
the
use
exam.
of space, right. After all, see, the very well said, sir. After all, the exam is that you have limited space, and who makes the best use of that
That
space,
space.
who is able to present better. So that is as far as, if we see it in a narrow sense, that academic relevance. Professional relevance, it holds a lot of professional relevance. So since geography cannot be excluded from our lives, geography is the foundation of our lives. We draw our sustenance from geography. Our culture is based on geography. Everything is based on geography. So now, as an administrator, you have to deal with so many problems. You are posted in new areas. You're transferred very often. So the first thing I think that helps is to understand the geography of the area. If you understand the geography of the area, then you are able to understand the peculiar problems, and then you are able to find the solutions.
Right.
And then we had this COVID situation. So here, you use a lot of geography, whether you're profiling people demographically, who is more vulnerable, who is that,
Mm.
whether you are geotagging we were geotagging people, we
Okay.
were geotagging our isolation wards. So geography really helps. Plus, I think when you're dealing with the public, the understanding of their demographics also helps you deal with them in a better way to understand their problems. And as far as personal relevance is concerned, I think it changes the way you see the world. When
Right.
you are not just a tourist, you're more of a traveler. When you go out, you see things with a different perspective.
Right. Right.
So I think it really adds on to your
Right,
life.
right. It basically widen up the contours of your thinking.
Right, right. And I think not only for the exam purpose, I think geography is essential for every person who is living in this world. If you do not know the basics of geography,
Exactly.
so I think existence is a bit
Questionable.
questionable. Right.
नहीं, very well said, very well said.
Right.
अच्छा Parleen, you were a UPSC aspirant as well, and
Right.
how could you able to manage these two examination together? क्योंकि a lot of overlapping is there, but a lot of differences is also there. So how one should manage from your experience? Just throw some light over it.
Right, sir. So I think, sir, as far as all state exams are concerned, majority of the people are those who are UPSC aspirants. Because due to the uncertain nature of state exams, nobody sets out for the state exam only in mind. Everybody starts with UPSC and then you eventually fall into the state exams. So that is what happened with me. I was also focused on preparation with UPSC, and for that particular year, when I took the prelims of PCS 2018, I had given my UPSC prelims. I had worked hard on that, although I did not clear it. So I think that knowledge totally helped me. And what was left behind, it was very easy for me to just pick up the syllabus, just see the things that overlap. And I was sorted that I had covered that in my UPSC preparation. I only had to focus specifically on the parts that the state demanded. So that
Right.
really helps. And I think when the other people who are sitting, your competitors, they hold that level of UPSC, they might have written mains also. So I think now in the state examinations, you cannot take them for granted and you have to deliver the quality of UPSC only.
Right.
That is how you
Because
will be
all your
able to
competitor are from the same background of
from the
UPSC.
same background. So you cannot take it lightly. I am not discouraging people who are preparing solely for the state exam. There is no discouragement over there in any sort. But those people who are preparing for UPSC, you don't need to worry specifically for the exam. So when the exam is near, you can very easily pick up the syllabus is detailed. So syllabus is the key. Syllabus is your Bible, syllabus is your atlas, syllabus is your everything, your pole star, everything. So keep the syllabus with you, compare the syllabus, and it makes life really easy.
Okay, okay, okay. Acha, Praleen, when it comes to the preparation of civil services, as we could see कि केवल hard working एक attribute है, उससे नहीं बनता. We need to plan out the whole thing, और हमें एक अच्छा management में भी अपना role play यहाँ पे करना पड़ता है कि how we manage the limited time, how do we need to manage the so many sources are there when it comes to in the era of digital world कि offline and offline things are freely or readily available. So we could see bombardment of material is there. But time is very, very limited. A lot of stress is also there. So how from your experience, शुरू में जब हम तैयारी करते हैं, hit and trial method चलता है for 1 or 2 year. और उसके बाद then we come out with a plan कि ऐसा करने से selection जल्दी हो जाएगा. तो can
Right,
you share that plan which you have carved out after your experience? कि क्या करना
right.
चाहिए strategically?
Sir, I would take the schedule and the time question here, and the about the resources and everything I have kept in the end suggestions for aspirants. So I'll
Right,
be taking up that there.
right,
So, when it comes to time, it is the most pressing question which aspirants ask: how many hours did you study? So, time was very irrelevant for me because time is varied, subjective. It depends on your life, what you're doing, if you're working, not working, everything. What my agenda was to set long-term targets also, keeping the exam in mind. Like I have, for example, I have 3 months for the exam. So I would plan in advance for those 3 months that how would I go about these 3 months. And then what was most important for me was the short-term daily targets. So every day before going to sleep, I had the target for the next day, that I did not get up in the morning and then decide what to do, because I'm an early riser. I like to study in the morning, and I wanted to just hit the ground running in the morning. So I would decide at night, take out my sources, and then study. But there is also a disclaimer that you do not ever meet your targets. So the thing is that when we set targets, I have also faced this, that When you meet them, you are over the moon. But when you don't meet them, you are totally down in the dumps that you cannot do this. So the thing is, what we need to do to have a timetable is not to stick to it properly, but it just gives you an orientation that you do not, you're not distracted along the way. Because a major
Right.
thing is in this exam is distraction. With the kind of sources and online material we are bombarded with, we're just a month down the line, we get a new source and then we leave everything aside. And then we are so enticed that we want to read that source. That is always there. You will always have these kinds of distractions and enticements. But planning ahead with your sources and everything, that ensures that you are less distracted. So
Right.
that is what I mean by planning. And the other thing is that initially we tend to be very idealistic. We set very high targets for ourselves. Our targets should be such that are achievable. Do not compare. I have seen people putting up timetables that I used to get up at this time, study at this time. You should never copy anybody's timetable. Timetable can never be copied. You have to make your own timetable. You have to see what works for you. You have to keep your breaks. You have to do things according to yourself. And then the other that thing that is most important is that you need to revise that timetable from time to time. Because once you set out, then in the middle of the preparation you realize that you had initially, when we do things very well, very properly, in a comprehensive manner, and we tend to eat up a lot of time. But then you realize that you're short of time. So you need to keep track of that, and you need to keep revising your schedule. So initially I would plan that, for example, I would spend 5 days on polity. But then when I realized towards the nearing stages of the exam that I don't have so much time, then I would cut it down to 2 days. Because then I cannot compromise my other subjects. I cannot stick totally to the letters of my timetable that
Right.
मैंने 5 दिन दिए थे, I would do 5 दिन. So it has to be flexible, but setting targets always helps.
Always important. All right. All right. Uh, प्लीज थ्रो सम लाइट ओवर थोड़ा सा काफी इंटेंस हो गया ये सारा इंटरव्यू जिसमें हम प्लीज
Right.
थ्रो सम लाइट कि हाउ डिड यू मैनेज योर स्ट्रेस, हाउ डिड यू इनकॉर्पोरेट योर हॉबीज इनटू योर डेली रूटीन so that you can feel lighten up.
Okay. So stress management, I think, is the most important aspect of this preparation. And in this, commercialization of education and everything, we tend to forget it. And in this highly ambition driven society, our parents are also driven by that ambition. We tend to negate our mental health, mental, physical. And to be very honest, I also did not manage the stress very well. And but there are some pointers when I think in retrospect, so which might be helpful for you. The first thing is that we should always take breaks. This is what I realized later on. I always ignored taking breaks, that it would, even if I take a 2-hour break, it would disrupt my schedule, it would not help me, and I'm doing well, I need to keep on pushing and pushing and studying. And then there comes a point when you're at a total breakdown and you do not study for 2-3 days. So had I taken that 2-hour break, I would have saved those 2-3 days. So
Right.
that is what has happened to me. And I think it happens to most of the aspirants. Everybody will face stress. Nobody is that godly that you can handle so much of stress.
Stress.
But taking breaks, periodic breaks, and you should take breaks when you're at the peak of your performance. That is most important. That is that when we are at the peak, we tend to overexert and we tend to study so much. We think that I can manage everything. But then the breakdown comes at a point that you are very low and you just don't feel like picking up books for like 3-4 days. And it used to happen to me. So I realized it in retrospect that that is where I was wrong. The other thing
All right.
that is also with breaks only, that you need to break the monotony. When you are preparing for civil services, when you get up in the morning, that is on your mind. Before sleeping, that is on your mind. So you need to do a little bit of things. You need to connect with your family and friends, and probably such friends who have similar interests or who understand the needs of your preparation. because there might be people who do not understand the needs of your preparation, and they, you know,
They
even
could
when you're going
discourage you.
out, they could discourage you. Or when you're going out into social life, you need to stay connected to your preparation. You cannot forget it altogether. So like I would, and sir had also suggested me, I would avoid going to wedding parties, because you go to a wedding party, first you plan what to wear and how to
Hmm.
go, then you come back, you have all those things going on in your mind.
Hmm.
So those are some things which I think if you can avoid, or if you can manage, go. But if you think it weighs down on your mind, so you can skip such social interactions in favor of those interactions where there is relaxation, and there are people who understand the needs of your preparation and the stress you are going through.
Right, right.
So breaks is very important. And the other thing that I would like to stress about stress management is that when it is the D day, that matters.
Right.
Whatever you do in your preparation, you might have been studying very well. I have friends who had studied better than me, who were more prepared than me. But when you lose it on that day, that is when you lose the plot. So
Hmm.
my thing was that I always went with a very composed mind on the day of the exam.
Hmm.
And for that, I would follow some tricks. So I would take my proper sleep. I never compromise on my sleep in any of the exams. That was the key for me. And then one day before the exam, I would not pick up any books. I was not the one who would be there with books at the examination hall. So that worked for me. The idea was not to go with any kind of stress in the examination hall, because you study so much, you have been studying so much, and वो एक दिन में अब आप कुछ और नया नहीं पढ़
नहीं कर
लोगे.
लोगे.
हाँ, तो you need to have a composed mind. अगर mind, and जैसे आजकल papers आ रहे हैं, if you see the 2020 UPSC exam,
Hmm.
it is something कि आपने rote learning और उससे नहीं होगा. If
Right.
you had the composed mind that day, then you would have been able to clear, and you would have been
हाँ,
able
बिल्कुल.
to apply your mind.
Right.
They are testing you on the application of mind, and it is very important, since now it has been 1 year into the service.
Hmm.
You will face such situations in the field. Every day you will face a
Different crisis.
UPSC exam, every day. Here we have to take one exam. So those people are very smart who have designed the examinations in such a way, because they know that the job
Requirement of the
demands
job
this.
is this.
Yeah. And in a situation like COVID, you would have all seen that it was very difficult, and it really tests your mettle. So you need to be fully confident and just stick to, if you have
Hmm.
prepared well, you will be able to do well.
Right, right, right. All right, Perlin, just let's wind up this whole interview, and please
Right.
share some pearl of wisdom at the end. Ki these are the do's and don'ts for the upcoming aspirant who are just about to start their preparation, or those aspirant who could be in the middle of their preparation, or who could be in the mature stage of their preparation. उनके लिए please आप कुछ do's and don'ts lay out कीजिए.
Right, sir. So, first of all, the idea of getting into civil services, when I saw, now, I also had the, very brush with COVID, and we were working in the field and everything. So that really puts your, thoughts and everything in perspective. And that is when you realize that you will be able to do this job only when you are a little passionate about the job.
Right,
The power, the status, and everything fades away when crisis strikes.
right.
That is when the real character comes out. So, to all those who are preparing, and I am not discouraging anybody, but the idea is that you should prepare keeping these things in mind, because otherwise it is difficult to sustain the preparation as well as the post preparation phase. So that is one thing. Choose your career wisely. And then, as regards as preparation is concerned, choose your resources wisely. See, the pointers I am giving, these are the mistakes I have made, and I have made a lot of mistakes. I have failed 3 UPSC prelims, and sir is aware of that. So I have made a lot of mistakes. So even if you pick something and you're able to implement it, I'd be really glad. Choose your resources wisely. Never run after too many resources. And once you choose your resource, stick to it. the tendency with all the candidates is that, close to the exam, a new current affairs, very nice glossy magazine comes in, and then you want to read it. No point. I have done all that and I have wasted all the effort in that. You need to read all those resources again and again, and this is something which all the toppers repeat, and this is very important. This is
To
the most
retain
crucial
what you
element.
have read.
Yes, yes. मतलब it should be that जो आपके रिसोर्सेज में से अगर क्वेश्चन आ गया, ये नहीं आपका गलत होना चाहिए. एंड देयर विल बी क्वेश्चंस जो कहीं से भी आएंगे. आप कितना भी पढ़ लो दुनिया की सारी नॉलेज,
You
कैन
cannot run
नॉट
after them.
you cannot attempt all those questions. Like for example, there is a classic case of Buddhism. So every year there is a question on Buddhism in
Buddhism.
prelims, and students tend to go mad reading everything and anything about Buddhism. But I gave up. So I was like, even if you become a Bodhi or Bodhisattva, still you won't be able to answer some
Answer
questions.
those questions.
हाँ. So my idea was that I will study the basics on Buddhism. कि अगर इतना ही basic question आ गया कि बुद्धा के कुछ symbols पे आ गया या कोई stupa पे आ गया, कि वो ना मेरा गलत हो. उसके अलावा if it is a very difficult question, it's okay, I can always leave. Why to stress about that one question?
Even if it is no one can answer it, then it's of no use. तो वो
Yeah,
neutral
it's
ही हो गया.
neutral. It is neutral.
If a
Totally
question
correct.
which is answered by all and it has been left by you, then you are at the
हाँ,
back
then
foot.
you're probably out of the game.
Right.
Yes. And then there is also a lot of debate about whether to take coaching or whether to do self preparation. I would
Yeah.
also like to
Please,
address this here.
sorry to interrupt you. Please throw some light कि no coaching can make you a civil servant, or it's up to you how can you are going to utilize all the resources you have mentioned. इसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा आप विस्तार में भी बोलेंगे तो I am okay with it.
Right, sir. So my personal experience is that I have taken coaching, and I have taken coaching from multiple institutes. I started taking coaching very early, and that was a mistake because I wasn't eligible to sit for the exam, and in that herd mentality, I went and sat at the coaching, and I didn't gain much out of it. So the first thing is take coaching only when you are eligible, and you have to take the exam in the near future, in an year's time probably.
Right.
That is ऐसे नहीं कि 4-5 साल पहले coaching.
Start
And
कर
then
दे.
you keep on फिर जैसे मेरा हाल हुआ था कि I took coaching in bachelor's second year, and I was nowhere near the exam, and then eventually I started giving my exam after my master's. So that coaching was of no use to me. I and wasted my parents' money, I wasted my time and everything. So, and the other thing is that never sacrifice your whatever degrees or whatever courses you're doing for this preparation.
Right.
I had secured my master's in geography, and then I had secured UGC net. So I had some backing that it is this field is very risky. UPSC or
At least
civil
you should
services
have a
examination.
fallback plan too.
Yes. So you can not always go with that. If you are that risky enough, risk rewards, but otherwise it is always good to have a backup. And there is no harm in taking coaching. So there is also a lot of negatives around that. नहीं, coaching नहीं लेनी चाहिए, coaching industry. That if the industry is flourishing, there is also a reason behind it, na. And if you think that you can prepare on your own, nothing like it. At the end of the day, you have to prepare on your own. The thing is that coaching facilitates it.
Could facilitate
Otherwise,
your preparation, right?
Yeah. So it is, it tells you what resources to read. It's just like a guiding light.
It could shorten up your journey. It
It
could
could
make
shorten
things
your
easier,
journey.
but it is not the panacea for you.
It is not. It can make things easier, but it can make things bad also if you think that if you what
Solely
you
depend
study
over
in the
it.
class, and you will sail through. So it will make things bad for you also. See, I also took coaching. I had good guidance. I knew the resources. But then ultimately, when my crucial exams came, then for a year or a half, I was on my own, studying on my own. Ultimately, you have to study on your own. So there is no negative around coaching, whether to take coaching or not. It is your personal call. And what kind of coaching you need to take. Now, so much resources are available that it is easy to take coaching sitting at your place comfortably.
Right.
So this is all the buzz around coaching that I wanted to address
No,
specifically.
it was very important. It was very, very important.
Hanji. And then some other pointers that I had in mind was that always stick to the syllabus. When I gave first 2 3 attempts, I never
Have gone
had
through
gone
the
through the syllabus.
syllabus. Yeah.
And this is the fundamental mistake we do, that even when we go to coaching, we sit down, or when we start studying on our own, we never even look at the notification or the syllabus. And how will we understand the demands of the
Paper.
exam?
Hmm.
It is like going to battle without your weapons,
Without right, without your ammunition.
without your armory. So it
Right.
is not a good thing. And this I realized later on, and when I realized, it helped. So always keep copies of your syllabus handy. It should be in front of you. You need to kind of memorize it. That is good. So that really streamlines your preparation. You're not here and there. You're not trying to do things that are not important. The problem is in this preparation that we end up doing things that actually do not matter in the exam.
Right.
And the other thing that supplements with this is testing.
Hmm.
We never test ourselves.
Right.
We are always scared of
Afraid,
testing.
afraid of
Huh.
testing.
And that is the thing that we have to do in the
Hmm.
exam.
Hmm.
But we are scared to do it
Hmm.
at home, at a comfortable environment. And in the exam, there will be so much pressure, and there we expect ourselves to deliver on that day.
Right.
So that is the biggest mistake that an aspirant can commit. You need to solve a lot of tests. You need to analyze the past papers along with the syllabus. The first thing should be sit down with the syllabus and the past papers.
Hmm.
Understand what they're asking.
Hmm.
Then you know what to study.
Right.
So in this time, what I did was I did reverse engineering. I
Hmm.
would first solve tests,
Hmm.
and then I would study from my notes.
Okay. No.
So I think
Hmm.
when I did the test, it really highlighted the crucial aspects. And then when I read my notes again, it really,
Uh,
I would focus on those aspects
राइट
properly.
राइट राइट कहाँ कहाँ पे लैकिंग थी और व्हाट इज नीडेड इन द नोट्स जो अभी तक शायद नहीं था तो कहीं ना कहीं वैल्यू एडिशन भी नोट्स के साथ हो गई है
And it helps at all stages. You have to practice for prelims thoroughly, testing yourself. Mains, so if you go without testing, then you're
हाँ
doomed to fail, I feel. So
रियली
you
रियली
have to test yourself, because it is another ball game altogether. And if you think you can go and write those exams in that time with that kind of quality without testing yourself on the first day, you are
एंड
doomed to fail.
एंड मैनी अ टाइम्स एस्पिरेंट आर इन द फ्रेम ऑफ माइंड वो कहते हैं बस प्रीलिम्स निकल जाए मेंस में वी आर गोइंग टू राइट समथिंग तो द मार्क्स विल बी लाइक समथिंग ओनली क्योंकि दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू गिव मार्क्स फॉर एनीथिंग यू आर गोइंग टू राइट तो
Right, right.
बहुत बैलेंस्ड एक अप्रोच होती है
They penalize as well.
हाँ
Even
दे
in the
पेनलाइज
state services, they give you 0 marks if you write nonsense.
नॉनसेंस राइट
Earlier, the view was that you need to write anything. Matlab, even if you don't know anything about the question,
जस्ट
just
राइट इट
write something.
राइट
But now they are very, they're not so lenient about it. They will give you 0 marks.
राइट
And
राइट
they might, in UPSC, they might also
इनके
penalize.
नेगेटिव
Negative.
negative
Yes.
for
So,
overusing the space for writing in the areas which is not supposed to be so
yes.
yes
So
yes
testing is that we have heard that phrase so often that you need to sweat more in practice to bleed less in war.
war right
So just sweat it out at home, and rest assured you'll be very comfortable in the exam.
in the
And
exam
you need to test yourself in an exam kind of pattern. You cannot sit leisurely and solve the paper in 3 hours. And even if you're solving the prelims exams, when I used to solve, I used to fill the roll number, I used to mark the OMR, because those are the things that really take your time on that day. And
right
you need to do everything according to the exam. That really helps. It makes you comfortable also on the day when you're filling your OMR. So you can also frame your strategies कि मैंने OMR साथ साथ fill करनी है, एक बारी ऐसे करके देख लो, or I will do it 100 questions at a time, or I will do 25 के set at a time. So you
Mhm.
can practice different strategies. And in testing, I would also practice my guesswork कि मेरे guesswork कितना strong है, because ultimately I think this exam is of how educated your guesses are. जो short
Right.
short वाले questions हैं, they are very less. They will never and make you clear the exam.
Right. तो गेस वर्क
हाँ,
तो
so you need
चाहिए.
to, वो आपको अपना sharpen करना है. और बाकी
कैलकुलेटेड रिस्क.
calculated risk, yeah, calculated. You cannot go about just doing anything. I have done all these mistakes, and then you realize that. But
हाँ.
वही है कि अभी टेस्टिंग पहले से be very जैसे टेस्ट करना है, so do it in the exam like pattern with full discipline, with full time limit, everything like that.
पूरा वो एनवायरनमेंट जो है रेप्लिकेट करके फिर उसके अंदर
फिर
इमिटेट
करना है,
करना.
फिर
राइट.
करना है, right. And वही है, again I would stress that give yourself regular breaks, and I would like to share on this platform that I would take a lot of breaks. It didn't mean that if I was preparing, I did not have any life or anything else. If you like some show, you can watch that. You need to play some sports. You need to follow some hobby. I like doing calligraphy. I would sometimes do that, or I would paint or something, to just release that stress or whatever, to break the monotony. So you have to do everything like that. And in the end, I would like to conclude with my personal experience. I've had a very short experience. I've just spent 1 year in the field, but I think I'd like to share that. And that year was, we were stuck by COVID. And that was an eye opener, because that is when I realized that this service is not all about power and status. To be very honest, whenever we come, we might have whatever aim. This this aim is underlying, it is always there, that you will get that power and prestige. Everybody has that, I also had that. But then in COVID, I realized that you need to be a little passionate about the job, when you need to go overboard in situations like COVID. When your personal and professional life is totally blurred, and you're totally at the disposal of the government, and you're totally at the disposal of the people. That is what you need to do. So you need to keep that in mind, and keep preparing well, and just have faith in your ability. Keep your confidence high. You might face ups and downs, everybody does that. So never feel that when you are feeling low, that all the toppers had very smooth sailing. I have shared my experience today, and I think it will be of use. It was a very honest conversation. And just accept your ups and downs. And when you're down, it's okay, take a break. And when you're doing well, make the most of it. And I think you'll get through.
Okay, okay. That's a lot of words for the upcoming aspirant जो इस the exam को आगे pursue कर रहे हैं. Thanks a lot, Perlin, for being with us and sharing your experience of preparation and your experience of this job as well. Thanks, Perlin. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity. It's always, I feel glad, I also feel that it is my responsibility, since I'm on this side, to guide the aspirants. So I feel glad guiding the aspirants, whoever want to, ask anything, learn anything. And I'd also like to drop my email with you. I'd drop
Right.
it with you, and you can share it
Share
with
with the
aspirants who want
aspirants.
to ask something. I'm always open for conversation, and I always take up emails from aspirants, and I'd be happy to help anybody who wants any guidance.
Okay, okay, okay. Thanks a lot,
Okay.
Perlin. Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.